Lunar New Year's back, and so are some of our fan favorite units. We have Chow, Ong, and Yoon. So we're going to be going over those 5-star old Lunar New Year units in their new 7-star form. So let's get into it for you guys here. We're going to start with Ong, and do keep in mind that we are going to be looking at their new stuff. We'll take a look at some of their old stuff if the new stuff calls for it, right? Dual cast skills, increased modifiers, things of that nature. We're not going to be going over the entire kit though, because these are new awakenings. So TMR here, we will touch on this real quick though, because we do need to wear this to proc our trustability. So how good is it nowadays? It is a bow with 145 attack, so not the most attack ever, but it is still a bow, and it does have bird and dragon killer on it, and the damage variance on it is very strong, 1.25 to 1.75, so 1.5 average there. So definitely going to want to put this on him, and you won't feel bad about it. It's a very strong weapon, and because it's a bow, you get some ridiculous attack percent on it in Steel Castle Milfikia. So the Super TMR, a lot of people have been excited for this sharpshooter, 100% true double hand and 60% attack if you're equipped with a bow. So extremely strong. Definitely pick this up if you get an Ong. Should you chase it though? That's a different question. On is really like the only bow unit that we really have access to. There's no real future bow unit. I'm sure there will be a bow unit in the future, right? Aurora Frivia, we did that weird bow build because bows are so strong. If Explorer Eileen gets a new 7-star form, she can wear bows. That might be a thing for her as well, though she can also wear guns. But this is a very, very, very strong Super TMR. 60% attack with a Buster style attached to it. What's not to like there? So with that being said, let's go over his weapon selection. We have fixed dice, so we have some bows as well. So either, fixed dice or his TMR, probably his TMR. TMR is pretty strong. All right, let's move on in here. For 7-star skills, we have Azure Arrow, wind physical damage, or physical damage, not wind elemental. Physical damage, 4.0 multiplier to one enemy. Decrease wind resist by 75% for 3 turns to an enemy. Okay, and add wind element to physical attacks for 3 turns to the caster. So wind imbue, very strong because this TMR is non-elemental. 75% wind imperil, and a little bit of 4.0 multiplier there. So the multiplier there is low, but it's not really what the attack is going to be about. It's really about the imbue and about the wind resistance. Dual arrows allows you to use armor piercing arrow, azure arrow, beast arrow, bird arrow, dragon arrow, insect arrow, and power arrow twice in one turn. Armor piercing arrow, not really the greatest thing. It's just some blade bullet style thing. Azure arrow, we just went over, and then the beast, bird, dragon, and insect arrows, those are the 75% killer buffing arrows that he has access to. And then power arrow is actually a new skill as well. Power arrow, 3.5 multiplier with ignore 50% defense to one enemy, so 7.0 mod overall there, so pretty strong. And then we have steady bow, 5-turn cooldown available on turn 1. Increase your attack by 200% for 4 turns. Increase your attack break resistance by 100% for 4 turns, and increase your limit burst gauge by 30 to the caster. So very strong way to open up a fight there. Ong was always based around his limit burst, and his one weakness that you can say before was that he didn't really have a whole lot of thing going on with him outside of his LB, and this is going to both give him something new to do outside of his LB with dual casting skills, as well as this new cooldown skill to just get you to the LB right away, which is very, very powerful, very, very strong. That being said, let's move on down to his passives here. His trustability is the firm grip. If you have his TMR on, Ong's bow, you get attack, defense, and spirit plus 30%, 50% more true double hand, and 30% limit burst damage. Very nice there on that limit burst damage. Sharpened arrows gives you a 1.2 modifier increase to armor piercing arrow. That's his blade blitz arrow, not that big of a deal. Beast arrow, bird arrow, dragon arrow, and insect hunter arrow get a 1.25 modifier. And then blaze arrows and tempest arrows get a 2.8 modifier. Sadly, none of these modifiers make these skills absolutely insane or anything. They take them to 3.0, 4.0 modifiers. Tempest arrow and blaze arrow goes up to a 6, 7.0 multiplier. But those skills are his delayed attack skills. They're almost like a jump of sorts. So unless you're using another Ong or something, which was previously the only way to get him to chain, it still is now, then not that big of a deal. He does get Perceptive, which gives him 50% high tide. He gets a Spirit plus 20% passive for some reason. And then Deadeye at 120 gives him 30% attack, 10% MP, a 0.5 modifier to Ash Shot, Penetrating Shot, and Petrifying Shot, and a 2.0 modifier to Swift Shot. So we're going over his passives here. Swift Shot, remember, is his unlocked skill. This was from his 6-star limit burst. It will no longer be unlocked from his limit burst at 7-star. but it comes from Petrifying Shot, Penetrating Shot, Ash Shot as well. It's a physical damage. Choose 3 enemies, so this will fire off 3 times. Physical damage 2.0 multiplier to those chosen enemies, and it does get buffed by Deadeye by another 2.0, so this will be a 4.0 mod, 4.0 mod, 4.0 mod. Pretty strong there. That being said, it's no longer unlocked by his limit burst, sadly, and you cannot dual cast it. So Ripperino, my guy, that's it. We done out here. Now, Bold Shot is a new skill. Choose 2 enemies, physical damage 5.0 multiplier, ignore 50% defense of the chosen enemies. This is actually going to be activated by his limit burst Falling Sun now instead of Swift Shot, and this is the only way to get Bold Shot is from his limit burst. Now, speaking of limit burst, we do have Ong's Fallen Sun falling in here. All right, I've seen a lot of people complain that it doesn't hit hard enough, and I'm partially going to complain something along that line as well, but it is still a really good limit burst. So Falling Sun, fire physical damage 9.4 multiplier, ignore 50% defense, so that's going to be an 18.8 multiplier. Still pretty strong there. 90% Fire Imperil, and Fire Imbue for 3 turns of the caster, and it unlocks Bold Shot for 2 turns. Now, my main gripe with this, I'm fine with this design, because everyone wanted it to be like a 40 times multiplier or something like that. My only gripe with this, design right here is that it's 30 limit burst crystals instead of the old 20. I know the cost needed to go up, but if you're going to design a character like Ong, who really wants to get their limit burst off to do damage, they want to do some damage with the LB, and they want to do some damage with a Bold Shot. I would prefer it if they would have left the limit burst crystal cost maybe 26, 24. Make it just a little bit easier for you to get that limit burst off. But it is exceptionally strong. It's an 18.8 modifier before his 30% limit burst damage. And yeah, I did say multiplier. Okay, get with it. It's multiplier, but I said multiplier. But 18.8 multiplier before his limit burst 30% damage, so that's going to make it like a 23.5 limit burst damage modifier there. 90% Fire Imperil as well, so very strong skill there. Ong is going to be exceptionally strong for you if you're looking for a nice chain finisher. You don't have one yet. He does do Wind Imperil, Wind Imbue, Fire Imbue, and Fire Imperil. I don't know what other character is preferring Wind and Fire right now. Oh wait, Orin is, so he's probably a pretty good partner for Orin. As a chain finisher, maybe you get your Axstar in there. Axstar does fire damage. You have Axstar Orin chaining with AT frames, and you get your Ong in there chain finishing Fallen Suns on people. Possibly a good combination. I don't know. Maybe you guys can do it and let me know in like 4 months. Come back here, remind me later, remind me when, see if that combo's doing well for you. Now, next up is going to be our boy, the Chowser. Chowser's coming in. He's coming in with the Lucky Ingot is his TMR. 88 MP, 888 HP with a Lucky Ingot effect. You have a chance to counter magical attacks with Fortune Smile. And then as we know, Fortune Smile, oh my goodness, gives you a chance to either restore 15% HP, increase your defensive spirit by 100%, or increase your limit burst gauge by 50%. And yes, that limit burst gauge by 50% means it fills up half your limit burst gauge. Pretty strong ability. It's really there for the flat HP and MP, but you know what? Our boy Chowser, he's still a good boy. Nice TMR. You're going to want to pick it up for Chow to activate his trust ability. I've used this on a lot of characters. If you have Liquid Metal Slime, it's absolutely amazing for Liquid Metal Slime, because Slime has like no HP, can only wear accessories, and has like ridiculous defense and spirit. So you go ahead and just throw that boy on Liquid Metal Slime, and that boy just tanks. He tanks for days. All right, we have Everlasting Kindness, super TMR here. HP and MP 20%, and you increase your spirit by 80% when you're equipping yourself with a robe. So very nice there as well. Let's get into his new 7-star kit here. Dual cast White Magic. You know where you're going to good places when you see dual cast White Magic on a tank. You know you're going to Pound Town when you see dual cast White Magic on a tank, okay? Guardian Spirit. I just said Pound Town and Chow the dog. I'm not a rapper. All right, so Guardian Spirit. 6-turn cooldown available on turn 1. Chance to protect all allies from magic damage 80% with damage mitigation 50 to 70% for 4 turns to the caster. Grant an HP barrier by 2000 HP for 4 turns to all allies. So this is a pretty unique skill. It is a 6-turn cooldown, so you're not spamming it, but it is a 4-turn cover. All right, with an 80% proc rate with traditional cover mitigation, and it does give the HP barrier to everybody. So Very nice skill. There's been situations, a lot of fights where I needed a refresh cover and I'm going through a threshold, and not only is there AoE magic damage going on, there's also like a little bit of an AoE physical attack going on as well. So this is going to give your whole team a little bit of HP with an HP barrier, and get your cover back up as well to tank all that damage and help you tank that damage too, and help you tank that physical hit if you get hit by it. So pretty awesome skill. Is it like a, new meta 12 out of 12, tank skill? This crazy damage mitigation cooldown? No, but it does have a lot of cool uses, and it's going to help him do some other stuff as well with his buffs and spells and whatnot, because it's a 4-turn cover, which helps you get that extra turn of healing or raising or self-buffing in there as well. So Guardian's Blessings is the next skill. 5-turn cooldown available on turn 1. Increase your attack, defense, magic, and spirit break resistance by 100% for 3 turns to all allies. Nice. And enable skill for 4 turns to the caster Sudden Wealth. So this is going to get a nice attack, defense, magic, and spirit break resist on a awesome 5-star base tank. So it's going to be one of the first things. I think like Veritas of the Earth used to have Omni Block and was very, very, very popular for that. He would be able to AoE cover for you back in the day, and he had Omni Block. So a couple of the trials that we got access to that did break your defense and spirit, if you did happen to have Veritas of the Earth and he did cover all that physical damage for you, you could also use Omni Block. Chow's going to kind of fulfill that role for us now as a magic tank. Going to have that there. Obviously, you cannot put up a cover in Blessings or Guardian's Blessing on turn 1. Not really a thing that you can do. But what you can do, is cover on 1, and then, maybe you get broken, or maybe the breaks come later. You remove the breaks and you put up the Blessing, or before the breaks happen on turn 2 or whatever, you put up the Blessing. So super awesome there, and obviously it's going to give us sudden wealth. We're going to get extremely rich every time we use this skill. Lapis is just going to literally rain down from the sky for 4 turns. I think that's what that means, right? Pretty sure what that means. Vessel of Prosperity, his trust ability is going to give you 20% HP, MP, and spirit, and make yourself resistant to stop. So the stop alone, anytime a fight requires you to be immune to stop, you're going to put that on there, guaranteed. Now, do you wear it outside of that? Yes, because you're going to get an 888 flat HP accessory plus 20% HP, MP, and spirit. So very, very strong thing to have there. So you basically, his lucky, you got 888 HP, 88 MP, 20% HP, 20% MP, 20% spirit. You're going to wear it there, okay? So never worth wearing Arsha Talisman or something over Lucky Ingot, because this is basically Arsha Talisman minus the defense. Reliable Protector, Spirit HP plus 30% with a light or heavy shield. Defense plus 20% as a passive. Very nice. He's always taking physical damage from me. And then True Divination. Increase your defense, spirit, HP by 20%, magic evasion by 10%, and increase your high tide by 50%. So Chow's coming out and he could just randomly dodge magic damage now. It's a low rate, but boy is a good boy. All right. That's pretty strong. 10% of the time you're going to take no damage. Very, very good. Obviously, you are not hitting 100% magic dodge yet. It's not a thing that we can do at any rate, but just the fact that he has some built into his kit is going to help him just randomly survive damage. It's not something that you can rely on, but it will randomly just cut down damage that you take by a lot. So awesome, awesome, awesome thing to have there. And then Sudden Wealth allows you to use Guardian Sacrifice, Courageous Heart, Strong Encouragement, and Improved Focus twice in one turn. So we definitely will be going over those right now. Guardians Sacrifice and Courageous Heart, my guys. So Guardian Sacrifice, Courageous Heart. Guardian Sacrifice is the skill that allows him to sacrifice himself to recover HP by 100% to all allies. Probably never going to cast this skill still, even though it's dual castable. Courageous Heart, though, very, very strong skill for him to be able to dual cast. So this is the one that puts auto revive on him. It always gives him an auto revive that revives him at 80% HP. He's one of the first tanks that can have access to a high tier auto revive for himself. And on top of that, he also will recover 40%, 70%, or 100% of his own health at the same time. It is a random skill, but it's one of the only random skills that I know of where every outcome is good. You will always get 100% auto revive. That's primarily what you're casting it for. And then you're always going to heal yourself for at least 40% of your health. I mean, now that you can dual cast this skill, if you really want to make himself heal just himself and you want that auto revive, you can even dual cast Courageous Heart, right? Maybe there's a weird situation where you want Chow to put auto revive on himself, And he needs to get healed, but no one else really needs to get healed. So what do? Well, here, easy. You just dual cast Courageous Heart, right? Because no matter what you get for the RNG, you're going to end up with Auto Revive, and you're going to heal yourself for 40% minimum and another 40% minimum of your maximum HP. So you can heal for 80% of your maximum HP and put an 80% maximum HP Auto Revive on for 56 MP. Yes, we will do that. Now, on top of that, we have a strong encouragement and improved focus, dual castable skills up in here as well. Do keep in mind that these do get enhancements. They go up to 100% attack defense buff with a 4-turn effect there and 4-turn stop immunity, as well as the improved focus is 100% magic and spirit buff with 4-turn duration and a 4-turn resistance to the charm. So those are going to be some cool skills that you can use later on. During a fight, you know, maybe you want to put that guard up and to stop and charm and stuff like that. Maybe you need your buffs back up, but your buffer's busy doing something else or dead or who knows. Not amazing, but available. The best one there is Courageous Heart. Courageous Heart's always one of the best skills in the game. The fact that you can just always heal yourself now is insane. Now, this is where Chow gets some very simple skills, and it just takes them to a whole new level, in my opinion. So he gets Dispelga and Kiraja. So he's going to be a tank with Kiraja. He's going to be a tank who wants to wear a bunch of spirit gear with Kiraja. He can act as your main healer for most of the fights. Now, you're still going to want to bring some sort of healing, right? Because it'd be very hard for him to main heal and tank at the same time, because there is going to be a turn, right, where you need to put cover back up and you need to heal your party at the same time. Chow can't do that. He can't heal your party with Kiraja and put cover up. Not a thing he can do. But on some other turns, you know, you will have him as your main healer, and then your other healer can do whatever you want them to do. Like maybe you're using Folka and you messed up and you need to put up your break resist or something again. Chow can heal for you there. Or maybe you're using you know, a Zargobath no healer strategy, right? Where Zargobath can heal people with Rejuvenate +2 every once in a while, but the whole party gets taken damage. You can use Kiraja there. And then when Chow's putting his cover back up, you can heal some people up with Rejuvenate. Or maybe you're using Nicole as your main healer, right? Because I've done that for a long time, where you have like a spirit-based Nicole and he's got some regens. And the regens are kind of main healing your party a little bit. You're not really going down in HP, but you took a big hit. Chow can heal you there. So a lot of cool stuff you can do. Remember, he does have dual cast white magic, so he can full life, Dispelga, Kiraja, Asunaga. Awesome stuff to be had there. And then Big Dog Chow's Limit Burst, the Celestial Limit. He's breaking his limits as always. I love this Limit Burst, super awesome. If you choose to max it out, it's going to be mitigate damage 54% for 1 turn to all allies, restore HP 10%, and MP by 75%. 75% MP regeneration. This is Wilhelm's Limit Burst with 75% MP regeneration, 10% HP regeneration on it. This is absolutely insane. There's so many cool things you can do with this, right? You fire this Limit Burst off and you fire off CG Nicole's Limit Burst, right? You get those two Limit Bursts in conjunction, 150% attack defense magic and spirit buff, 20% HP and MP regen. That's Limit Burst from CG Nicole. 20% HP and MP, 150% all stats, and it removes all breaks. Then you fire off Celestial Limit, 54% damage mitigation, another 10% HP, and 75% MP. So you get back 95% of your MP bar on all your characters, 30% HP heal, 50%, 150% all stat buff, 54% damage mitigation, and attack defense magic and spirit break removal between your two characters, your support, your tank. That's almost like a full reset. That's crazy. It's like a buff plus like all your MP back plus like 30% of your HP, and if you have some HP regen heals on there, boom, done. You're good to go. So pretty cool. I love Celestial Limit. Very awesome. It is notable to say that if you are looking just for the 54% damage mitigation, if you leave it at level 25, which is what the old 6-star form max was, mitigate damage 54% for 1 turn, restore 5% HP and 55% MP, that will be level 25. That's where you need to go with the Limit Burst there. Chow, if you have him, awesome. If you don't have a magic tank, consider pulling for him. Super awesome guy. Definitely get him if you don't have a magic tank. The on-banner rates are only for these 5 stars, okay? So if you pull on the banner that has Chow on it, you're only going to get Chow, Yoon, or Ang for a 5-star. So that's going to be really good odds for you there. to get Chow. Now, the last one we'll be going over today is Yun. His TMR is the Crimson Slayer. It is the body piece with no actual attack on it, which is the big downside nowadays because of true dual wield and true double hand and stuff like that. There's no actual raw attack on it. But if you are wearing a fist weapon, you do get 30% attack, okay? So Crimson Slayer not having an attack on it, not the greatest thing. Now, Combat Finesse is a super TMR. It increases your equipment attack by 30% when dual wielding. So it's 30% true dual wield. Then it gives you 40% attack if you're wearing a dagger, whip, mace, or fist. These do stack. Whip and mace are kind of out there for weapon types. No one really uses those, especially as a physical damage dealer. Whip and mace, not really a thing. Fist, weapon, and dagger. Fist is kind of relevant. Dagger is also kind of out there as well. So really the only prevalent weapon type on here is fist weapon. Can you make it work? Of course. It's going to be the greatest thing ever. You know, even if you only wear one of these weapon types, it's still going to be 30% true dual and 40% attack, so it's still fine. If you decide that you find a build that you can max it out, it's 80% attack and 30% true dual. That's pretty good as well. He is 30% resistant to fire randomly, and then let's get into a 7-star kit here. So you have multi-barrage, physical damage 3.5 multiplier, ignore 50% defense, 8-hit skill, Oct/Chaining Family. If used after multi-barrage plus, Surging Flames or Unleashed Fury, name changes into multi-barrage plus, which turns into a 6.0 multiplier, ignore 50% defense to one enemy. It's gonna be a 12 times multiplier. So we're definitely gonna use Surging Flames or Unleashed Fury. And then once that happens, multi-barrage plus will just chain off itself. You'll just be able to use multi-barrage plus. So Surging Flames, 4-turn cooldown available on turn 1. Increase fire resistance by 75% for 3 turns all allies. Decrease fire resistance by 100% for 3 turns all enemies, and give yourself a 200% attack buff. So you're gonna be able to go Surging Flames on 1, and then just multi-barrage plus 12 times multiplier Oct/Chaining Frames. That's pretty strong. Perfect Strikes, physical damage 8 times multiplier with consecutive damage increase, 6 times 1.0 each, up to a 14.0 max. Absolute Mirror of Equity, Chaining Frames. So that's gonna be a thing you can do with him as well. So he's got Octaslash, 12 times multiplier. He's got up to a 14 multiplier with Perfect Strikes. Absolute Mirror of Equity, very strong there as well. Unleashed Fury, 4-turn cooldown available on 1. Increase attack by 200% for 3 turns of the caster, and increase physical damage against beasts and plants by 100% for 3 turns of the caster as well. So what we're looking for on Yun, we're looking for some more true dual wield stuff. He really needs that, definitely in himself. He needs some more true dual wield for him to be what he wants to be. Okay, so decrease the counter rate by 25%, recover 10 MP and HP while walking, great, 8% MP heal. He's got a massive HP heal, 2,500 HP with a 1.0 spirit modifier per turn. Holy crap, that's the biggest HP heal we've ever seen, and 8% MP? That's ridiculous. Now, he's a damage dealer, so like the fact that he has that giant HP heal is largely irrelevant, but that's still massive. Requires his TMR, Battle Scarred, defense and HP plus 20%, 50% attack when dual wielding. So 50% true dual wield, blind disease and petrify resistance, 100% there. Increase modifier to Blazing Heart, Raging Bird, and Blazing Combo. No one cares. Those aren't going to be anywhere near high enough to compete with his new AT skill or his new Octaslash skill of 12.14.0 multiplier, whatever. Hunter's Prowess increases physical damage as beasts and plants by 50%, 20% spirit, and then he gets 20% HP and MP with 20% attack if you're equipped with dagger, whip, mace, or fist. So the same thing as his super TMR. His limit burst is the Golden Talisman. Physical damage 10 times multiplier with an or 50% defense, 1 hit. Decrease defense by 74% for 3 turns to an enemy. Restore 50% MP to the caster. So he gets the new MP restore. That's kind of fine. He's a dual wielder though, so he shouldn't really be using that much MP to begin with. Defense break is cool at max level, but you know, we've seen this, you know, this is Onion Knight tier stuff, right? Way back in the day. And the modifier is very high, 20 times modifier, but he's a dual wielder, so you're not getting the full effect that you should be. So he's okay at best. Blazing Combo, not nearly good enough, even with the modifier increase. I mean, even if you got a 2.0 modifier, it's a 10 times multiplier. So you can use it. Kingsley family, it's fine, but nothing super crazy. He does have dual wield for his weapon types with dagger, whips, maces, and fists. The main problem with him is that he is a dual wielder, so that's not really like the greatest thing. You can still use him for sure. He does have absolute Mirror of Equity family, awesome. Now his 2 attacks that he wants to use, multi-barrage plus, okay, and perfect strikes, they're non-elemental, and he is locked to certain weapon types, so he can only use fist weapons, flails, whips, and daggers. You're gonna probably want to go do the 10-man and get the Fire Whip and put that on him, if that makes any sense, because I don't really know of any other fire weapons that exist, because it does have that massive fire imperil, but that's about it. You don't want to imbue yourself with fire or anything crazy like that. And he is a chainer, so you want to be chaining as much as possible. So Yoon, probably the weakest of the three I like on the bunch. You can still use Yoon. If you do get Yoon, great. The banner as a whole, if you don't have Chow and you really need a magic tank, I would think about getting Chow for sure. Ang, he's a nice chain finisher. Don't really need to chase after him. Chain finisher, if you're looking for a super awesome chain finisher, the best one I can think of off the top of my head, you're going to want to wait for CG Sid, Dragoon chain finisher. If you want to make one of them weird comps where you have like one solo damage dealer, he's going to be awesome for you. Or if you want to wait a long time like me, you can wait for Regina. So if you want like a super awesome chain finisher right this moment, Ang will be good, Sid will be better, and then Regina will be even better, and then Sid and God enhancements, he's actually really insane again as well. And then Yoon's kind of okay. If you get a Yoon, if you want to use a chainer, absolute mirror of equity, chaining family, go ahead and do that. He's going to be there. He's going to be able to beat all the content in the game. Right now, guys, the content that exists, if you have some 7-star damage dealer, you can probably beat anything with some gear. So go ahead and go out there and do that stuff. If you want to see more stuff like this, guys,